careers in fight one, and then seeing two of the best athletes at that weight class that they're fighting in the main event. And someone like Kay Hansen, we've been able to see virtually every single one of her fights almost inside the Invicta cage. And I think going back to what we're talking about, following an athlete in one night, you're able to follow athletes like Kay Hansen over the course of a couple of years. And I think we've learned a lot about Kay Hansen, the athlete and the person.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. From the first time, it's almost watching, she was very young when she started here. And of course, she's still young, of course.
Right,
but just even to see that evolution, how she's grown and the maturity and the things that you're seeing every day. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to have the opportunity to be part of something like that, to actually see, a young athlete and watch them continue to grow and thrive and, map out their way in this sport. It's very professionally and personally gratifying to be part of that experience for the athletes.
It's crazy to think that Invicta has been around for closing in on 7.5 years at this point, and what it's turned into. Yeah. I mean, you got to be pretty proud of your baby, right? Like this is a lot of people thought it was a flash in the pan.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Always. You know what I'm proud of? Of course, I'm proud of, it's not just me over here. It takes us all. I've always said that, I couldn't do it all by myself. I have a great team that's in place, amazing athletes that rally behind and in front and say that, we're going to get in the Invicta cage. We're going to give it our all. I've been really extremely, extremely blessed in that aspect that, to be part of it. To me, that's the whole reason I ever got in the sport in the first place, is because I wanted to make a difference. I didn't want to be the cool kid, didn't want to be the rock star, all I wanted to do was, I was such a huge fan of the sport and the athlete, and I was a huge advocate, was really to be able to get in and do something to change it. And I feel like even as much work as I did on the male side, what we've accomplished here at Invicta and what we stand for is really, me being able to fulfill my dream of giving back and doing something, that was important in the sport. So, yeah, I'm proud of that aspect. Of course, I'm proud of what we built, but we're just getting started. I always look at it like that. There's so much more work to do. I know that, to the people on the outside, they look in and they think there's so many female athletes that want to compete, but there's still, we still struggle sometimes finding, and, not every little girl grows up and wants to be an MMA fighter. So, you got to keep moving and building and creating. And I guess for me, that's the fight. That's the good fight for me, is to keep pushing it and, changing the game. Hopefully we'll be able to be successful in boxing like we have been in the MMA for the women. That's next. So
always looking to the next thing. Shannon Knapp joining me here on Beatdown. This isn't the last show either for Invicta here in 2019. You have a date coming up in October and November with fights already announced.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're stacked cards. They're both really good. The October card, you see Jinyu Fry back in against Ashley Cummings, and Pearl Gonzalez versus Brogan Walker Sanchez, so that's going to be a great fight. And then November, we're going to close it out in November with 2 title fights. And I haven't announced this one yet, but you're going to see the Vanessa Porto and Karina Rodriguez, but also underneath that, you're going to see the 115-pound strawweight title fight between Kanako and Emily Ducati.
Oh, my goodness.
Am I saying that right? Ducati?
Yeah, you are. Ducati.
I never know. Ducati. Okay, because I always check myself.
You might as well just call her the number one contender after her performance in her debut when she dispatched Shanice Naranjan.
So it's really good.
And taking on Kanako, I can't really think of a better fight for the title.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
That is why we're doing it.
There you go.
So there's dropping a little bit of news there.
I like it.
It's a great matchup. Both cards. I mean, they're both stacked. There are a lot of fan favorites going to be rotating in on those cards. Some interesting matchups. It's going to be good.
And can't wait to really kind of kick off. Pretty busy schedule. You're coming off your last show just a month ago, and and now a show pretty much every month except for December. That's a long stretch, Shannon. You must be working extra hours. You might need a vacation in December.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know how that works out.
Maybe
in my mind.
Right,
I'll get
exactly.
one in my mind for a few hours. But,
exactly.
And then, we're also pushing things around and starting to pick up speed and movement on the boxing side. So you could see the first event possibly, not 100% yet, but there's a possibility that first event could happen in December.
That's awesome. Great to hear. You'll have to keep us in tune with that. And of course, you're going to take a month off, but you're going to launch something else. That sounds like the Shannon Knapp I know.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Highly possible.
Well, we can't wait for the tournament coming up this Friday night. Of course, you can watch it live on UFC Fight Pass. The card will really be announced at the ceremonial weigh-ins on Thursday. That's another thing I like about this event, Shannon. Obviously, you have the actual fights on Friday, but the storyline and the drama really starts to kick up at weigh-ins.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're going to do a live draw at the weigh-ins to see who fights who. So nobody knows. It'll be an opportunity for everybody to find out when we find out. It's
impossible to pick a winner when you don't know who anyone is fighting yet, and that's what makes this tournament all that much more fun. The Phoenix Series, you can watch it again this Friday. Shannon, I appreciate the time. Best of luck with everything, and can't wait for a hard charge to the end of the year with Invicta FC.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
And just like that, we're back to Beatdown, Between Rounds Radio. I'm TJ. Thank you to Shannon Knapp for coming on the air. Can't thank her enough for everything that she has done for me throughout my career and continues to do for me. This whole entire thing should be brought to you by Invicta, to be honest with you. It's been a crazy time, and I'm happy to say, once again, that Between Rounds is finally taking shape to what I thought it was going to be when we kicked it off. And it takes a lot of people, a lot of people to make things work and happen. I promised and teased you with some more news about Between Rounds, and I'm happy to do that now. We'll give you 3 things right now. Coming up next week, I believe it'll be Thursday. I don't know what capacity I will be on the show. Hopefully not that much, but you never know. I'll be doing a show with Brandon McCaffron. It's called BMAX Audio Adventure. If you're going, who the hell is Brandon McCaffron? Brandon McCaffron is my color commentator at Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, Combat Jiu-Jitsu Fight Night. He's been in the booth at the Eddie Bravo Invitational as well. Really funny guy, interesting guy, loves mixed martial arts and combat sports and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to go on an audio adventure together weekly on Between Rounds. That'll be fun. And then the other tease here. I don't know when the first episode's going to be. It's either next week or the week after. I will be doing a show that doesn't really have a name. We'll figure out a name. I told her just to call it the Julie Kedzie podcast, which hopefully she will. But it features Angela Hill as the... No, it doesn't feature Angela Hill. But she works with us too. It features Miss Julie Kedzie. The Julie Kedzie podcast. We talk about fighting and stuff. Probably a lot of stuff, but mostly about fighting. So that'll debut here in a couple weeks. So we will be redoing the Discord server. If you're not a member of Discord, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/Between Rounds. Sign up. If you're a keyboard warrior or a hardcore, you'll get access to the Discord server. Actually, every patron gets access to the Discord server. However, you got to be a hardcore or a keyboard warrior to actually punch words in to the thing. And I believe most of our staff is already on there, and the new staff will be joining us on there. And that's really all I can say for now. I'm sorry. I know it's not groundbreaking news, but we did break some news, by the way, if you weren't paying attention. Kanako Murata and Emily Ducote going to fight for the Invicta FC Strawweight Championship coming up in November. So that's exciting business. Breaking news right here on Between Rounds and Beatdown. All right. No reason to prolong this anymore. Appreciate you listening. We will be back with the roundtable coming up later. And then don't forget Beatdown After the Bell on both Friday and Saturday. That's it. You just got Beatdown on Between Rounds.
The preceding podcast was a TJ De Santis production. Comments, questions, and inquiries can be directed to desantisprod@gmail.com.